So we can start the class?
Yes, sir.
Good, excellent. Your that Mohammed, your work has been done, that office meeting done?
Yes, already, sir. Finish.
Okay, fine, good.
Yes,
So you guys can see my screen as well as, isn't it?
yes, sir.
Yes, now we can.
Good. Okay, so we are starting. So we will be starting with Python features. Okay, as we have know already, then Python was officially launched in February 1991. Okay, it was Python. Python was launched February 1991. Okay, good. Now today we will see the Python features. Okay, so the first thing comes in Python is that it is easy to learn. Okay, what happens if you are doing this particular video which we are going is been recorded also, you can find in the chat box. Okay, video will be find it over here. Okay, good. So what happened that Python is as like, suppose if somebody is learning Java, C++, like this kind of a programming language, it is highly recommended that the person should learn C beforehand or learning C++ or Java. Why? Because what happened, this C++ and Java are the OOPS concept. It's the advanced version of a C only. Okay, so that's the reason we are recommending that you should learn, at least go through and learn the C language before learning C++ and Java. Whereas in the case of a Python, we don't require any C language programming knowledge. Okay, because why? Because it is easy to learn. It's normally, if suppose if I'm doing print statement, okay, if I am doing a print line, if I am doing writing over here print, okay, if I am writing print over here as a hello, what happen? This will be printing a particular line, whatever line I am giving inside this bracket. Okay. If same thing if I want to do in other program like C, C++, Java, at least I have to write around 10 to 15 lines of a code just to print one particular line. Whereas in the case of a Python, you just require one single line. Okay. So since your lines of a code has been reduced, your chances of getting error also got reduced. Okay, so that's the reason it is directly Python. Anyone can directly jump into an Python and can learn it. Does not require a person should know the English language. That's all that is built, and he can understand Python very easily. Okay, coming to it's a easy to read because it is what it is in English language only. Coming in, it's a easy to maintain. Suppose if I want to run a Java kind of a program, so what happened in that Java kind of, we have two tools are there, plugin JDK JRE, Java Development Kit, Java Runtime. Okay, but those things, those adding external plugins and all the tools are not required in Python. So we don't have any add-ons extra like that. So that's the reason it is easy to maintain also. Coming to portable, what happened if you have written a Python script, okay, in your Windows operating system, that same script you can take into a pen drive, okay, or you can email me that same script, and you can directly, that same script you can directly run on different operating system also, like Linux, Ubuntu, and Unix, Mac OS, or Linux. All those things, same script. You need not have to change any lines of a code, and directly you can run in that. Okay, so that shows the portability of a Python language. Okay, coming to extendable. See, suppose what happened. Python was officially launched in 1991, but last 4 to 5 years it is getting in demand as the boom is coming over here. Okay, so what happened? But before that last 4 to 5 years, still many software has been already generated in C using C, C++, Java, isn't it? Many software. So we cannot, now we cannot throw those software. We still need to use those software. So what happened? We can write we can write any Python code into that existing software which has been created in another programming language. Okay, so that can be possible as well, or vice versa. If I am having a Python script and I want to write some few lines of a code of C, C++, Java into my Python script, that is also acceptable. So that is embeddable. Python can be added into another language, okay, and another language can be added into Python, so extended. Till now, any doubt, anyone? All good?
So far, so
Fine,
good.
fine. So you guys can even you just note down these particular points. Easy to learn, easy to read, easy to maintain. Okay, just make a note of it. Give a heading, Python feature, and give a heading and make a note of it.
Can I ask you, sir?
Mm-hmm.
If are we using Python installation or just cloud Google Colab like that?
Google Colab. See, no. We will be installing Python into our system as well as I'll be showing you how to work in Google Colab. Okay? Both the
Okay.
things will be done. Both the things.
Okay.
Once you have made note of these points, just write in the chat box done. Okay, Dave, done?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, what happened? Another feature is that it provides a database connectivity also. Suppose if we want to store lots of data, okay, so what happened? That those data cannot be stored in what? Your text format, text file format. So what you will do? Those data you will install into your you will store in a rows and column format in table format so that you can use a query language and your inserting, updating, deleting, all those operations become easy. Okay, so that also database connectivity also Python is providing with lots of major commercial database like PostgreSQL, SQLite 3, MySQL, Oracle. Okay, it Python also provide a graphical user interface programming. If suppose you want to create a desktop application, okay, a graphical user interface application, we don't require the internet connectivity to run. Okay, that also you can create by Python using a Python module called PyQt or Tincter. These are the popular modules of creating any desktop application or GUI application using Python. Okay, Python has a OOPS concept: classes, object, data hiding, operator overloading, inheritance. So object oriented programming is also there in Python. Okay, which makes our script more realistic. Okay, more realistic concept. Python can be easily integrated with C, Java, and other programming languages. So note this down also. Good, fine. Coming to what other features of a Python characteristic. Python is freeware. Okay, we have like lots of time we have lots of time we have already heard that this software is an open source. This software is an open source, isn't it? So can you tell me what do you mean by open source? What is your guessing? What do you think when I say that this software is an open source?
Like its code is available to everyone for free. It's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. So what happened in open source? What happened? Open source means what? The code, the source code which has been used to develop this software is freely available to see. Means people on public domain, it has been inserted. The source code is there. Using those software for freely is known as freeware. Okay. You need not have to pay a penny also to use any software. That is known as freeware. Seeing the source code of that software is known as open source. Okay,
Okay.
fine. So Python is having both the features. Python is freeware. Okay, you need not have to pay a penny or to use the Python. Python is open source. The source code which has been used to develop Python code are freely available to see. Okay, Python is platform independent. Once you have written a script in one particular operating system, that same script you can run into another operating system. No error it is going to work. So it is platform independent. Portable means what? Moving from one operating system to another. Python is dynamic. If I am doing a C programming language, if suppose, so in C, if I want to create a variable, first I need to give the data type. So if suppose int num equal to 10. Okay, this like this only I can create any variable in C programming. Okay, in C programming like this only we can create. Okay, whereas in the case of a Python, you just have to give the variable name num equal to 10. Okay, it will accept. It is not going to give any error. Okay, same num equal to I am writing Python, which is a what? String data type. First one is number data type, integer. Second one is string data type. Okay. So what happened? This is going to be acceptable. Okay, sorry. Num equal to Python. If I do, then it is going. This going to be acceptable. Whereas if same scenario, if I am doing in C language, int num equal to 10, I am saying that num is a variable which can take only and only number. Okay, num cannot take a string data type, but here in this case, first I have given a number, okay, and same variable I am giving different data type, which is the string data type. So in this case, what it will do, it will in Python it will work fine, but in case of a C, it is not going to work. So let me show you. If I have done num equal to 10, okay, if I am doing print, okay, type of num. So what it will do is that it will do what? It will tell me the data type of num variable, which data type it is accepting. So here in this case number, so integer will come. So int is coming over. Make sense? Now same num variable equal to I am doing Python, which is a string data type. Now here print type of num. So what will happen in this case? It will do what? It will do a string data type, it will say different data type, isn't it? Because this is containing a sentence or word over here, whereas in this case of a number is contained. So that's the reason that your data type got changed. So that's why it is giving me string data type. The variable is same. Variable is same. This can be done in your Python coding only. You cannot do this same concept in other programming like C, C++, Java. Okay. So this shows that Python is dynamic data type. Okay. Python is dynamic data type. Provides dynamic data type a equal to 10, a equal to hello. Python is garbage collector. Okay. So what does garbage collector mean? That if I am doing print, if I have done a equal to 10. Okay. Now if I am doing print a, sorry, I am doing print a, what will be the output? 10 will be the output. Okay. Make sense?
Yep.
If I am, let me run once again. If I am doing, if I am doing a equal to 10, okay, and I am doing what? Print a variable. What will be the output? 10 is going to be output, isn't it? Same way, if I do b equal to 20 and I do print of b, what will be the output? I'm writing in the chat box. If I'm doing b equal to 20, okay, and I'm doing print b, what will be the output? Both of you write in the chat box. What is the output going to be? 20 will come, isn't it? Now, no matter how many times I am printing, again if I do B, what will be the output? 20 is going to come. Again I am doing B, 20 is going to come, isn't it? No matter how many times I print this B, all the times what is going to go? 20. So now, if I do print B, 20 is going to. Now I am closing this one, okay? I close the ID and again I am opening the IDL. Now if I do print B, what is going to be the output? Just now I have shown you, no matter how many times I was printing, okay, the 20 was going to come. Now if I do print B, what will be the output?
Show the error.
You write in the chat box. We'll see. Error will come. Variable not defined. Exactly. What happened? If I am doing this print P, it will say that P is not defined. Now how this is working? I suppose the moment I have written E equal to 10. What exactly is happening inside my computer memory is that I know. So what happened? Moment I have written E equal to 10. Consider this a computer memory. Okay? Consider this a computer memory. Okay? This is what a computer memory. Okay? Computer memory. This is a computer memory. Here, the moment I have written E equal to 10, what happened? Again, a space has been occupied somewhere inside the memory. It can be any place. Okay? It can be any place. Memory space A is taking some space. Okay? A is taking. And 10 is also going to take some of the space anywhere. Can be any place. What happened? There need to be a link formation between this A and B because A equal to 10, isn't it? So what happened? There will be a link between these two. Okay. Now the next line what we do into print A. Okay, print A it is doing. Now in print A what exactly it will do? First it will search whether A is present into my computer memory or not. So it is present in print how the execution is happening. Since A is present, so it will come over here and then it will say okay, A is present. What A is indicating? 10 it is indicating. So what will happen? A link will be again will be found between these two. A message will be sent as a 10. That's the reason 10 is going to be printed. Now, this what happened? The moment I am closing this session, okay? The moment I am closing the IDLE, whatever values have been created will get deleted or get erased. Okay? So there will be no A and 10. That's the reason when the next time I am doing a print A, after closing the session, we are not able to find the A variable. So that is known as what? Garbage collector. And that operation of deleting got closed is known as what? Automatic garbage collector. Understood everyone?
Okay.
Understood? So Ankit, can you explain me what is garbage collector? Automatic garbage collector in Python?
So, garbage collector is like when you close the program, it will remove the previous values. It will
Mhm.
clear the previous memory,
Mhm.
and so those data will not be available to us for future references. Something like that.
Uh-huh. Good. Something like that. Okay. Now that is done in Python automatically, whereas in other like C we need to use malloc, calloc, something like that to remove those conditions. Okay. But here in this case, Python is taking care of it automatically. Okay. Now Python is providing what? Multiple assignment. Okay, multiple assignment one, A comma B comma C. If I do print C, what will be the output?
3.
3 will come. So in A, 1 is going to be saved. In B, variable 2 is going to be saved. In C, 3 is going to be saved. Okay. Now D comma E comma F. Okay. 3 comma 4 comma John. So what happen is that not only same data type you can have the value of multiple assignment. You can have different data types also. So John is a string data type. 3 4 are integer data type. So if I print F, sorry, if I print F, what will be the output?
John.
John will come, isn't it? Are you making sense to you or not?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Good. Now Python is case sensitive. So what happens if I am having a code? If I am doing A equal to 10, okay? If I am doing print A, small a, so what will be the output? 10 will be coming. If I do print A, then what will be the output? 10 will come or any random number will come.
And
It will give an error. Okay, it will give an error. Why it will give an error? Because uppercase A and lowercase a are different. Small letter and upper letter, like capital letter is different in Python. So it is case sensitive. This small a is different with capital A, uppercase A. Make sense? So that's the reason we are saying what Python is case sensitive. Okay,
Hey,
understood everyone?
I just have one doubt.
Uh-huh.
Like for that automatic garbage collector thing,
Uh-huh.
if we want some variable to be stored in a like when we use it the next time, it would get removed. So how do
Uh-huh.
we?
That is not going to be happen. You have to, what you need to do is that you have to create a Python script. For example, what I'm doing, I'm going to here file and I'm doing a equal to Ankit. Okay, or suppose name is a variable. Okay, name equal to Ankit, and then what I'm doing is that print name I'm doing. Okay, so in this case what happened, you need to save this Python file, Python script permanently. So you will save into your local disk, isn't it? Local system only. So you can save it any of the location. There's no issue. I'm saving in this folder. Okay, now if I'm running this, Ankit is going to be printed. All good. Now this file I am closing. Once I have done the closing part, again I am opening an IDLE. Here in this case, if I do print name, what will be the output?
Error.
Error will come because name is not defined, isn't it? Now I have to open that same file, Ankit1 18awk.py. Same file I open, now I am running it, then it will give an value.
Okay.
So this only you can do. You can create your script and you can save into some Python file, any of the location, and run that script.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood?
Yeah.
Any doubt anyone has till now?
It's good for me.
Okay, fine. Dayuf, any doubt, Dayuf?
so far, so good.
Okay, okay, thank you. Now, Python application, what all things you can do with Python? You can create a desktop standalone application. You can create a web application using Django Flask. You can do a database application. You can do networking application, computer network. Even you can create games also using Python. Even you can create a graphical user interface thinker. Even you can do the data analyst part. Even you can do machine learning, artificial intelligence, IoT application. and many things you can do with your Python skills or Python. Okay. The companies which are using Python are the YouTube, Dropbox, NASA, IBM, Mozilla, Scientific and Research Organization, Quora itself. Instagram also uses the Python. Okay. Now we will see how to install Python into our own system. So, do anyone has already installed Python in their system? Ankit, is this installed into your system?
Uh, no, Samir, I have not worked on this.
Mhm. Okay, no
Sometimes
problem. I'm showing you.
I've used Google Colab sometimes, but not on PC.
Okay, okay. Okay, no problem. I'm going to show you Google Colab. You already guys have, and yeah, anyhow I was talking about both the things. Okay, so for Python, what you have to do is that you go to Chrome or any Google. You go Google website. You go. Okay, Google website. You go here. What you do? You just write Python download. Okay, or you can even write this particular web link www.python.org/download. Okay, download your Python script. I'm just copying it. Okay, you can go to that particular link, or you can search in the Google. Okay, download Python. The first link, which is www.python.org. Okay, here only you have to click. Don't download the Python from any other places, because that can be harmful viruses also. Okay, so coming to here, the latest version of Python is 3.9.0. Okay, you have to click on this one to get installed the 3.9.0 version. If suppose I want the older version, I don't want the newer version, then what you have to do, if I am on the Windows operating system, I need to click on this. If I am on the Linux or Unix system, I need to click on this. If I am on the Mac OS, I have to click on this, or any other operating system. So in my case, I am on the Windows, so I am just clicking on Windows. Okay, here I can find it out two stable version of a Python, which has been given to the people for using it for their, like this has been tested version of a Python, are known as stable version of a Python. Okay, now the 3.9.0 is the latest one. You can find the older version also, 3.8.6, 3.8.6, okay, 3.7.9, 3.5.10. Okay, these are the older version. So in this, suppose if I want to download 3.8.6, okay, among these many files, which files I have to consider? So what you do, if you are having a 64-bit Windows, then you have to click on this one, x86 64 executable installer. Okay, if you are having what 32-bit of Windows operating system, then you have to click on x86 executable installer. Okay, do you guys already know how to find the how many bit system you are having operating system? What you need to do, you can open this one. Okay, your Explorer, go to property. Here you will find it out which bit operating system you are using. So 64-bit or 32-bit, here itself it will be displayed. Okay, coming to after this, if suppose in my case 64-bit, so I am clicking on this one. Okay, getting installed. So around 26 MB of a file will be. Okay, once it get installed, you need to just double click on this one, open it, double click this, because my already is been set up, so that's the reason it is coming like this failed one. Okay, when you have a downloaded version, you will be getting what, this particular, when you download and double click on it, you will be getting this one, install Python with a version. It will be okay, 32-bit or 64-bit. And here while installing, don't forget to add Python 3.7 a version to path. This box will be unchecked. You need to click on this and check it. Okay, so you have to check this box. Okay, and then you can go and install in C drive or any other drive if you want. Okay, so after this is the mandatory part. Click on this add Python 3.7 or whatever version to power, and then click on install now, and then next, then finish. Understood how to install Python?
Yes.
Anyone doubt anything?
No. So,
Okay.
Sumi, I have just downloaded 3.90. I've started downloading that. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. But it's better to go with the little older version, little older 3.8. Because what happened, they have given for downloading 3.9.0, but their bugs can be there. There can be a bugs also. So
Okay.
that's the reason. Anyhow, no problem. You just carry forward with that. Okay. Once that gets solved, how to check that Python has been installed into your system correctly? You have to just open your command prompt. Okay. Command prompt you open and just type Python over there. Okay. Once you download the Python and you command write the code Python over there, automatically it will say that you have a Python version 3.7.4 or 3.8 or 9, like that. If this message is not coming and error is coming, then Python is not known as internal or external. Okay. Command, then it shows that Python has not been installed into your system correctly. Okay. Understood?
Yeah.
You've understood or any doubt?
Uh, Sir, I was install all one Python, but uh, if I
So
install
are
again,
you, yeah, are you installing right now or you will install afterwards?
no, I mean that I was having Python before,
Okay.
but if I install it, it is uh, double
No, it
interface.
won't be double. No. It won't be double. You'll be using. It will be giving you privilege for the older version only, which you are already existing. It is not going to Python. It won't be created. Okay. Okay, now that was for using a Python. So once you have installed the Python correctly, if you just search for IDLE, okay, then you will be getting some IDLE files kind of, which will be, once you click on that IDLE, it will be something like this Dropbox. Okay, once you click on that, what will happen? This output box it will be coming. Okay, so let me close this. Like this particular box will be coming. Here what you can do, here you can do one line of a comment, one line of a code you can execute it. There is no error. Okay, you can execute, but the question arises is that if I want to write my code, okay, more than one line of a code, then what to do? Whether I'm going to write one line or more than. For that, and to save your file permanently, you need to go to file, go to new file over here, okay, and here you can write Python script there. As many as lines of a code you can write it over. This file you have to save it in any of the location. So I'm saving. You can save in any of the location. This file will be saved in a format of .py. You can see def underscore 18 of .py. The moment you see any file .py, it indicates it's a Python file. Okay. Now I'll go to run. I'll go to run module. Now my output is coming as a 10 and 20. Okay. Make sense, everyone? Now what happens? Suppose I am doing num1 equal to 10. Num2 equal to 20. Okay, after that I am doing what? Print num. Print num2, num1. Okay, saving this file. Since I made some modification, I save the file permanently. Then I'll go to run and I'll do the run module. Anyone having doubt till now? No doubt, isn't it? In these lines of performance. I'm getting an output of 10 and 20, but is this making any sense to me? What is 10, what is 20? Isn't it? It's not making sense to me that I'm not able to find it out what is 10 and 20. So to give a message into your print statement, you have to write something comma over here and then double quotation mark and the text we have to write. So number 1 is colon mark. Okay, whatever things we will be writing inside the double quotation mark will be printed out. So number 2 is, here I am not giving colon mark. If I save this file, since I made some modification, I am saving the file and I am going to run and I am doing the run module. So now I am getting output like number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20. This is somehow making some sense to me, isn't it? So what you guys do, you guys write this code into your notepad or make a note of it. Once you are done, let me know. Done, return the code. Fine. Now, this was regarding the number. Now, if I do name equal to, okay, then here I do print, hello, space, then again comma, then I'm writing name. So what will be the output? Hello Ankit, isn't it? I'm going to file, going to save, going to run, going to run one. So I can find it out. Hello Ankit, it is true. Understood?
Yes.
Now we will see print hello world. If I do to be hello world will be printed a comma b equal to 10 comma 20, and if I do print a plus b, what will be the output?
30.
30 will come. So your mathematical operation also you can do inside the print function. Okay, you can write plus, minus, division, modulo, anything you can write inside the print statement. Okay, now type of A will give me what? Integer data type, isn't it? INT, because 10 is an integer number. Okay, now what I have done, fine, a equal to true, type of a if I am doing, then I will be getting output as a bool. Okay, bool is a data type which contain only two values, true and false, in which t needs to be uppercase or capital letter and f should be in uppercase or capital letter. Okay, so bool is having two values, true and false. We need define. Okay, in other program language we have to define the data type, but in case of a Python you don't require any You need not have to define any data type before. Okay, Python is dynamic programming language. Python is a mixture of functional programming from C, OOPS concept from C++, scripting language features from Perl and shell scripting. Python, okay, scripting language can features, okay. Python is a mixture of what? Programming language, functional programming from C, OOPS concept from C++, scripting language comes from shell scripting Perl, okay. Modulo programming features from modulo C, okay. Okay, syntax from C and L. So that's the reason for I saying that, okay, Python is programming language from me. So that's the reason Python is saying sometimes as a scripting language, modulo language, because some benefit property from the programming language A has been taken, beneficial property language from B has been taken, all has been clumped there and made over. Understood everyone? Any doubt till now?
Mm, yes, we understood.
Understood the you any doubt? So for today, this much only. Okay. Uh, Ankit. Okay, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to be online only. I'll talk to you. Okay. Then you be on. You be available on Monday. Okay. The youth Monday I have talked to you. Isn't it? Monday you need to online. I'll chat to you. The youth will WhatsApp. Okay. Any doubt anyone till now which we have covered? Any doubt anyone has? Then let me know. No doubt, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay then. Okay then. Okay then. Bye then. Okay, fine. Okay.
Monday night is a
I'll,
Monday
I'll,
night.
I'll talk to you on WhatsApp right now. Okay. They be online in WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
Should
We
I
will
be
discuss about the Monday time.
online over here?
Wait. Ankit, be online. I'm disconnecting this call and I'm calling you. Okay.